country back and it's hindered our development. And there are several reasons why this is so. The first reason being that it's a role that is not defined. It has no job description. And so sometimes when people die, they don't even know who to appoint. And can you imagine a CEO of a company that has not been appointed since 2002, or the present problem where we haven't had a chief for, I don't know, donkey years, I don't know how long, or whether we'll actually have a chief. That immediately shows that that position is totally irrelevant to the people, because the people have lived despite the fact that there's been no chief. That's one area. The second area is that politically we are a republic. And within a republic, we need to have republican institutions, not undemocratic institutions like chieftaincy. People become chiefs by the accident of their birth. Nobody knows whether they actually trained for the job or whether indeed they can do the job. But just because you come from a particular family, or because you've been brought up by somebody, or because you've lived in a particular area, suddenly somebody dies, and whether you are trained for it or you are not trained for it, you suddenly are made a chief. And that's where all the confusion starts, because we don't train our chiefs. And then people say that, oh, chiefs, they are tradition, they've been with us forever. They've not been with us forever. There have been several areas where chiefs or kings have been disposed within our present life. Ethiopia, they used to have an emperor. He's gone. Israel, they had the kings. Egypt, they had the kings. China, they had the whatever, pharaohs, and they've all been disposed. So this is an undemocratic institution that contributes absolutely nothing to our culture. At least in this country we have the royal queen who sells newspapers, because people buy, when people write about her, people buy the newspapers. We don't have anything that our chiefs give for us. They don't even give us schools, they don't give us hospitals, they don't give us anything. And the chiefs, they don't want to live even in the land. The chiefs are absentees. Some of the chiefs are in London, or they are in Accra, or they are in somewhere. And it's nice. We can do our own culture.
We are not pretending that everything is okay with the Chieftaincy institution. And that's why we are discussing it today, to see how we can make it more relevant to modern day Ghana. The current Chieftaincy institution has been guaranteed, protected by our current constitution. So I don't know what you meant by illegal institutions.
No, I did not say illegal.
Undemocratic.
The constitution talks about it, it writes about it. It doesn't say anything.
No, it is entrenched provision of the Constitution. And the 92 Constitution...
270 to 274 talks about it.
Yes.
It just talks about it.
Exactly. And then that same Constitution, there was provision for it to be reviewed after 20 years, which the review process is currently going on. So if we have any ideas on how to make our Chieftaincy institution relevant, let's channel that to the Constitutional Review Commission. Yeah. It's still in process. And the National House of Chiefs President is an automatic member of the Council of State, responsible for advising the President. If you go down to the Regional House of Chiefs, they play an important role. We can't pretend everything is okay. Let's try to make it more relevant than trying to dismiss it completely, because that will be a recipe for disaster.
The third is a Republican, and I think it's sour grapes. Him and I go back a long way, so I can say that to him. Come on now. You are sitting in the land of a queen and arguing that within your own cultural setup, the royalty institution needs to be abolished. I said earlier when we began that I think reform is necessary. I think we all agree. The way in which the institution is established needs to change. It needs to be more strategic. People need to have the skills. And I think then chieftaincy will be relevant. Now, I know from experience, and I've traveled around the world, that there is something very, very unique, especially in Ghana. Now, there's royalty everywhere, but only in Ghana do we dress like this. For instance, There's something to be said for projecting a certain number. Look, the queen that you sit in her country now, her income. Sorry? She sells newspapers. I can sell newspapers if I wanted to, but I choose not to. So that is really an irrelevant point. What I'm trying to say is, rather than call for an abolishment, and Republican ideology is a Western concept. Before we had the Western concept of democracy, we had the traditional democracy. And so to call for an abolishment, I think, is wrong. We need to reform, not abolish. We are relevant. We don't have enough time to go into a lot of the things that Chieftaincy can do and does do. It's just that sometimes the bad overshadows some of the good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You were saying something about development. If you go to Ghana, I understand you are Ghana. If you go to Ghana, you see a lot of things going on that the chiefs are doing. I know of Asantua Girls Secondary School. I know of St. Louis Secondary School. I know of certain schools, Fiacon Secondary School. I know of the whatever park that they are building at City Hotel and all that. These are being done by the kings and the chiefs and the queens. So development-wise, they are also contributing. They are also helping. I don't have money, but due to the money that they get, the 80, whatever, and other money they are getting from the sale of certain things, they are also helping in developing this. Though it's true, we have some lapses. We need to correct them and then reform them. Thank you.
Over the years, the Chieftaincy has withstood. If you could say, it was Lord Lugard to advise the British colonialists to rule through the native chiefs, and they did that quite well. And it just left for us just to improve on what has been done.
Or the republicanism and etc. that we have. How truly democratic are those things too? You have a democratic system where we vote people into power in elections in Africa, and for the longest while yet, from independence until now, forget about the chiefs, they've not really been able to develop the country, and they are actually sitting there whilst our resources are taken away daily. And of course the chiefs also have their own role to play, where they sell lands and people do galamsey, the Chinese come in and set up buying properties, etc. But you cannot begin to put down your own culture and say that Chieftaincy has absolutely nothing to do. For example, you are wearing a jacket. If somebody sees Na Chucho wearing this, and it's born in England, for example, and hasn't even seen the beads that he wears, for example, doesn't know what it means, and begins to ask questions about what does it mean. It takes you back to your culture, it takes you back to your identity, it takes you back to the fact that before, once upon a time, before we had elections and we had Western democracy, we had chiefdoms, queendoms, etc., and the people, and that goes to the question that you asked. You have a festival like Afisidaya or Afashe or whatever. You pour libation. It tells you that before the white man came in with Christianity and he gave us that picture of Michelangelo, which everybody sees as a picture of Jesus. It's actually a picture of Michelangelo's brother. You actually also had the notion of the supreme being and God, and the chief being the spiritual leader in that sense helps you understand that. You have to link the whole question of chieftaincy with your whole spiritual cosmos. I'm not saying that chiefs are perfect, but so for example, you have these festivals and somebody learns about their tradition, learns about the history of the clan and the founding and how we came to be, etc., etc. You cannot simply throw away the baby with the bathwater and run down chieftaincy completely, because if I was to ask you what is the substitute that you have today, what is the thing that you think is actually useful and developing us, the so-called was, if it is the party politics, democracy that you're talking about, it hasn't helped Ghana, it hasn't helped Africa in any way, really. Unless you want to be blind, it hasn't. I'm not here about supporting this party or that party. So chieftaincy does a role to play. You sit in the king's palace, among the courtiers, you learn about philosophy, you learn about language, you learn about culture. You learn about, if you are a Asante, you learn about a proverb like nobody teaches a child God. If you want to talk to God, talk to the wind. It shows that your people had a comprehensive philosophical system before somebody came and told them that they were pagans and heathens, etc. And that, so there's a whole lot. You can't get, and